I'd like to welcome you onto this call. Welcome and thank you for joining this PSM Africa Near East Youth Dialogue on promoting youth engagement and employment in agriculture and food systems. And just to elaborate, the acronym PSM is Private Sector Mechanism of the Committee on World Food Security. So just to give context, oftentimes we hear the narrative that there are not enough youth in agriculture in Africa. We need to engage more youth in agriculture in Africa. But in this youth forum, we are actually showcasing the good work and the great initiatives that are ongoing in the youth engagement space in agriculture. My name is Amanda Namai. I'm Go-Getters lead at Generation Africa at AGRA, and I'm delighted to be joined by the Go-Getters family, by the Generation Africa Secretariat as the key organizers in today's dialogue, of course, in conjunction with IFN. I would like to acknowledge and welcome Your Excellencies here with us today. Thank you for making time to join this important discussion and show your support for youth in agriculture. Thank you. Thank you. I invite to introduce yourself in the chat. Feel free to share where you're joining us from and highlight initiatives promoting youth engagement. So to start off this conversation, it is my absolute pleasure and honor to invite remarks from Ms. Robin Anderson. She's the Director General of the PSM and an agriculture leader who started her own business at 20 from her family farm. So Robin, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Amanda. It's so much fun working with you, and every bit of fun I've had along the way being a youth in agriculture is now in amazing hands like yours and all of you who've joined us today. It's my great pleasure to work as the Director General of the Private Sector Mechanism in the International Agri-Food Network, and amongst the things that I do. And really, we're very hopeful today that this session will bring you some information and some key resources that will help you spur on youth engagement. As Amanda said, we're not just talking about what we think in theory should be done, we're talking about what's really being done and what can we do to proliferate that, to make sure that that becomes policy recommendations. And that's because the UN Committee on Food Security is currently negotiating policy guidelines that the whole world will be able to use about how people can better engage youth and employ youth and create a future for youth in the agri-food sector. These voluntary documents are being negotiated right now. We'll put some links in the chat so that you can see the first draft of those links. I'd like to acknowledge that we have many guests as member states who've joined. We have a great contingent from Egypt. Thank you for coming. Thank you to the room-based agencies who are present here as well, and to all of you from around the world. And as Amanda said, we hope you will continue to introduce yourself in chat. And with that in mind, I'd like very much to have the honor of introducing Ambassador Zainab Salim, Your Excellency. We very much appreciate the leadership that you show in your role as the Ambassador of Mauritania to the Rome-based agencies in New York, and you are the chair of the Near East Regional Group. We have our members here from the Near East. We have members from Africa. Mauritania sits in a special role in both. We couldn't be more honored to have you here today. I hand the floor over to you, Madame.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Robin. Giving me a great pleasure to be a part of this and to see continue the great work in youth engagement. Under the theme of education in the Africa region, we have, and I would like to introduce them. We have also some initiatives from Near East region. And for Africa, our first case will come from Kenya on 4K Club. Let us now turn focus on the case study. Is the video ready? Did they join us today?
The video is ready. Just one moment. Thank you.
Let me say that it's a great day today, and I'm really very happy and proud to be with you as together we launch the rebranded and remodeled 4K Club. I am glad to note that deliberate efforts are already in place to provide relevant agribusiness information to our young people through both mainstream and social media, and this I truly appreciate. Indeed, as the young man said here, the project integrates a financing component that will support youth-owned agribusiness and provide Kenya shillings 2.2 billion to finance youth agripreneurs through three financing mechanisms, namely 500 million Kenya shillings in interest-free loans to finance youth for startups, soft loans where Kenya shillings 900 million will be committed in the form of low interest credit to the incubation graduates at a low interest rate of 5%, and the risk guarantee fund where Kenya shillings 800 million will create a risk-sharing fund which will provide backstopping support to financial institutions as they make available up to 5 billion as commercial loans to agripreneurs. To this end, the first batch of 520 youth will be proceeding for incubation from June of 2021 and will be receiving financing of between Kenya shillings 500 and Kenya shillings 1.5 million each to set up and run their agribusinesses. Indeed, and again, as requested by the young man who spoke here, I want to say that I completely agree, and I'm happy to hear even the minister is on my side on that one, that there will be a phase 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, in order for us to maximize the agricultural potential of our young people.
1.
Oh, great, Kenya. We appreciate your great work and your leadership during the Food System Summit. Thank you. Our first case will come from YPARD Africa on agri-youth, Africa Empowerment Project in Ghana. Let's now turn our focus on the case. Thank you. Do you hear me, please?
With the prospects for youth involvement in African agriculture, it is imperative that they are properly empowered to do so. If fulfilled, the youth will be innovators, inspirational visionaries, and transformative leaders in the food system. This will help secure well-paid jobs for them and subsequently lead to food security. The Agri-Youth Africa Empowerment Project is an effort by the Forum for Agricultural Research in Africa, the Young Professionals for Agricultural Development, and the African Leadership Academy to help young people become effective contributors to the development of sustainable food systems. This project offers young people the tools, information, skills, and mindsets they need to reach their full potential in different areas of agriculture. At the opening of the Agri-Youth Africa Empowerment Initiative, John Agbula, the Global Project Specialist for the AGCO Agriculture Foundation, said that food security can't be achieved without the active participation of young people. This he based on the FAO's projection that by engaging young people in agriculture, we can increase food production by up to 60%. Also, Dr. Lorena Maxwell, a plant pathologist at World Vegetable Center, attributed the limited involvement of youth in decision-making in the sector to the youth's inadequate knowledge about the sector. And to stress the need for the youth's capacity to be built, Forget Sharika, a farmer and agronomic engineer with Chelsea Foods, advocated that emerging experts be connected with established professionals for development and guidance. In line with this, the Agri-Youth Africa Empowerment Project is a mentoring program with themes of policy and advocacy, entrepreneurship, research, farming, extension, communications, and ICT. It focuses on equipping youth to be change champions, drivers of adoption of climate-smart technology, and overall promoters of good practices in the sector.
Well, good. Thank you, YPARD Africa. We thank you for the work you are doing to develop talent and leadership for youth. Thank you. Now the third case will come from AgriCorps on school-based agricultural education with 4A in Liberia. Let's now turn our focus on the case.
Elementary and Junior High School, where we have come again to in continuation of the tools distribution. Foya Central High School, we have one of the students demonstrating the plenty of cassava on mound.
Good morning, how are you?
Fine. We understand you are the principal of the school. What's your name and how is the school helping the 4-H club to really do its work?
Jonathan S. Glickley, the principal. Well, the 4-H club is actually helpful agriculturally, and we are teaching our children to know how to do this so that they can carry the same idea from the school garden to the community or in the backyard where they live.
Oh, 4-H. 4-H, remember 4-H. So what's the song? Can we sing one song?
Yes.
Okay, what's the song? Can we go ahead?
I bless my hand.
To clever thinking, my heart. to greater loyalty. My hands to larger service. My heart for better living. For my club, my community, my country, and my world.
Your Excellency, you may be on mute.
Do you hear me now? Thank you, AgriCorps, for your terrific efforts. Now we move to our fourth case. The next case will come from Ghana. 4-H growing food. Okay, young farmers in Ghana. Let's turn our on the case.
The 4-H programs that we run are making young people become very interested in agriculture and not seeing that as punishment as it used to be. We've been giving them tools, we've been giving them seeds, and this motivates them to go into some agriculture with a scientific approach. They are able to plant with a good protocol that we teach them. They are able to make a lot of money.
We have applied science to the 4-H agriculture, and now I can see they are improving the class.
So that we can improve production, and then the farmers will have enough income. So that is why 4-H is very important.
Every young person that goes into 4-H learn more things about what they can do to be able to improve their livelihood and create wealth as well.
So they are the future. They will transform the country and they will transform the older generations.
People in 4-H are better prepared for the future because I think they have been taught agriculture.
The young people, as we always say, are leaders of tomorrow.
4-H will take Ghana forward. Ghana will become someplace in the future.
I'm the president of 4-H Xavier.
I am the solution.
We are the solution.
I'm the solution.
I am the solution.
We are the solution.
I am the solution. I'm the solution.
We are the solution.
Let me open up the panel. I'd like to call on Karen Monoko Njuru from YPARD and the FARA project. I'd like to call on Marcus Yenti, who is the Agricultural Field Education Officer at AgriCorps, and Elzar Tete, who is the Programs Director at 4-H Ghana. If all of you could just put on your cameras and join us. These experts, oh, Your Excellency, we have you back. We were just introducing the panel, and then I'll give it over to you. So if we could just, Marcus and Elzar, come on, we'll spotlight you. If you just come off mute, Marcus.
Okay, thank you.
And Elzar.
To invite our panel, to invite our panel, I'd like to thank and now I would like to invite our distinguished panel to join and build on this conversation from each of the organizations showcase. They are available to answer your question and respond to your intervention. We'd like to hear about what these examples and further use engagement. Okay, now I invite the panel. Are they ready?
Excellent. So we've got the panel up. I think we have someone who's got a little bit of background noise. So we'll just mute you until you each take the floor. And we welcome comments. I think Elzar has his hand up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, yeah. The floor is yours. Go on. I'm sorry for the disturbing connection. The floor is yours. Go on.
Yeah, thanks for having me. As I was introduced, my name is Ilyes Alawe, and then I work with 4H Ghana as a project officer, currently working with the youth. So I look forward to a nice program today, and I'm ready for any questions that will come my way. Thank you.
Thank you. I don't know if on Gaia is here.
So excellent. Thank you so much. And Karen, do you want to introduce yourself briefly, and then Marcus?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Robin. As you've heard, my name is Karen Munoko Nguru. I work with the Forum for Agricultural Research in Africa, the agribusiness and gender expert, but I also oversee work on youth and the FARA. We work very closely with the YPOD Africa, which is hosted at FARA, and we're pleased to be here. I'm happy to take any questions or comments from the participants. Thank you.
Thank you, Alet Karen Mundo. Thank you. And now let's move to Makasienke. Are you ready? Okay.
Well, hello everyone. I'm G. Marcus Yeti, the Agricultural Education Fee Officer for 4H Liberia in partnership with Agricos. And in Liberia, we are operating school-based agricultural education, training young people in agriculture, leadership, and entrepreneurship skill development. So I'm open up for discussion, and maybe we'll accept any questions and interactions. Thank you.
Thank you, Alet. Now I see Lartete. Do you have Lartete? The floor is yours.
Your Excellency,
yeah.
We cannot seem to get sound for the person you're calling for, but if you would like to put a question to the panel, we will work on that. Thank you. Your Excellency, I think you may be on mute again. And we have Olawole ready to take the floor. Olawole, if you would come off mute, and we'll, thanks. Welcome.
Good morning, Robin, and good morning, everyone. Okay. Well, I do not have a question this morning. As you can see my background, I'm on the farm. I actually have a training session this morning. So that's why I seek this opportunity to have the floor so that I can attend to the training. I'm sorry I will not be able to stay to the end of the training. Now, Real People Concept, my name is Olawole from Real People Concept, Nigeria. Real People Concept has a subsidiary called RPC Cattle Hub. Cattle Hub was set up to be a model farm and a training farm. And particularly what we are doing concerning youth education in agriculture or youth engagement, we have a program that we call a Young Cattle Ranchers Internship Program. This program gives young professionals, young graduates from animal science, vet, range and pasture management, agric engineering, and the likes, the opportunity to have hands-on practical experience on cattle production, particularly dairy production. Because in Nigeria, our indigenous breeds of cattle give about 2 liters of milk per day. And so we are looking at how to improve on that. Number one, we are
Okay. The quality of sound is bad. We don't hear you. We don't hear you.
and also in
From Nigeria.
Hello, can you still hear me?
Yeah, now good. Yeah, the sound is.
Oh, okay. So sorry about the itch. So the internship program is giving young people experience, the exposure to dairy production. And currently, we have had 4 students from a university in the eastern part of Nigeria. And currently, we are having 9, from another university in the southwest. They are going to be on the farm for 3 good months, and they will be exposed to various aspects of cattle production, dairy production, also including modern technology like ultrasonography for pregnancy diagnosis, artificial insemination techniques, and we're also introducing them to dairy value addition like yogurt production, so that they already see value in agriculture, and by the time they are done with their studies, they already have things to do. So that is one of the things that we are doing to encourage young people in agriculture. And we organize seminars regularly on modern cattle production system. We hope that this plus other things we're going to do will encourage more people to come and explore the world of agriculture or agribusiness. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you a lot. I do not see other question. I don't know, I have maybe some question for our panelists. My first question is, how early do we need education interventions to help people understand the food system? What differs in primary school versus university? Second one is, how important in research and innovation to attracting young people to agriculture and food? The third one is, once young people get out of school, how do we help them get jobs and found business in agriculture and food? Thank you. Now we'll see our panelists.
Yeah.
So Elzar, why don't you go first?
Yeah, so thank you very much for the question. So I will take it from the last one, talking about what will happen if, students leave the school, and then how we are going to help them to appreciate agriculture and food systems. I think in the first place, we shouldn't even allow them to leave their schools before we target them, since the school is where we can get them in an enclosed environment for us to probably work with them. Currently, as we know, the youth are the workforce of development of every country. And without them, developments will be stagnant or cannot move at the pace that we would love it to be. Ghana being an example where I reside, and at least the youth are spearheading almost all the things that we need to do when it comes to agriculture, because they have the energy and the workforce for that. Talking in Africa as a whole, we are blessed with a lot of abundant lands and resources, natural resources that are supposed to aid us to grow. But unfortunately, all these opportunities have turned rather into threats, hunting us. And the entire world simply because our education system is not targeting the youth, and then successive governments have also failed to, implement activities or policies that are going to target this youth. So in my opinion, I believe when they are in school is when we are supposed to rightly work with them to generate their interest in agriculture. And that is what my organization, that is 4H Ghana, is doing, which I am happy to be part of. Currently, we are working with the youth to make them self-productive and self-reliant. Because what we've seen is that year in, year out, our schools, graduate a lot of students who graduate and come and sit home, waiting for government to employ them or someone or the private sector to employ them. Basically, they graduate without any practical knowledge or things for them to use their hands to do. But then agriculture is an avenue that we are teaching them that it is self-productive. And then if you are engaged into it the right way, you can start something on your own, which can be built up in the future. Agriculture can offer you the opportunity to self-employ yourself without waiting and sitting for government to employ you. And the small or the little things that you do even at your backyard can be replicated when you have a bigger land to do something on your own. So basically, I think we should target them whilst they are in school for them to appreciate really what agriculture stands for. That's my take for now.
Your Excellency, I think you're on mute again. Maybe Marcus.
Okay, you have something to okay, over to you.
Mark, was that Marcus? Great. Well, Marcus, we'll take you off mute.
Okay, activate your mic, please.
Thank you ever so much for the questions. In my opinion, and maybe what we know in Liberia here is the young people actually are the brain and the future of our country. So it would develop, it would empower them with agricultural skills. They were going to have long-lasting impact on the country economy, and the country food system. So while the students are still in school at the junior high level, 4H, is operating school-based agricultural education program with them, and the school-based agricultural education program actually focus on training the youth, empowering them with basic life skills in agriculture and leadership. And these same skills they learn in their school demonstration fund, they go in their community and establish their own home entrepreneurship projects. And the home entrepreneurship projects, they will train their parents to, in the community about the planning protocols the improved planning protocols in agriculture. And over a few years, we have had huge success in schools where 4H operates, because parents of these students who are part of 4H clubs are actually learning new ways, new agricultural technologies, and they are improving and increasing their production. So to agree with my colleagues from Ghana, we don't need for the students to leave school before maybe they come and join and start doing agriculture. But in school, I think if they are learning those agriculture and they are practicing it in their home, they have huge success. And in their schools, the garden we established our school demonstration fund, it serves as a laboratory, learning facility where teachers who are not even teaching agriculture but teaching other basic science can carry their students on the demonstration fund to connect the classroom activity with the real world problem, to practicalize what they are teaching in schools, in mathematics, in general science, and other subjects. So I think that's the little contribution I can make on that questions.
Yeah, great. Maybe Moko, you have something to add? Karen, yeah?
Yes, thank you, Ambassador. Thank you very much. So I'm going to respond to the second question on how important is research and innovation to attracting young people in agriculture and food. So I'll speak from the project that Farah has been carrying out on youth mentorship together with YPAD Africa. And we have seen that research is important. Already, I think it's been documented that the youthful population in Africa is ready and is very dynamic, and they're excited and they have enthusiasm and energy and the willingness to take up technologies for ensuring that there's availability of food, more specifically safe and nutritious foods. And so because of that, there's a lot of potential that needs to be harnessed in the continent for helping and channeling that energy in the right direction. So this youth mentorship program by YPAD is an annual event, but aside from the actual forum, there are some young people who have gone through mentorship and carrying out research. And we've seen a lot of growth and excitement around that, interest from youth. For instance, in the last year's event, we had over 300 youth participating from 34 countries in Africa and 7 countries out of Africa. And some of the main outcomes from this mentorship program are, we've realized, we've seen that youth actually have an appreciation of the policy formulation process, because they need to understand how policy is developed, how do they even engage in policy dialogues. And there's been a lot of appreciation of the policy formulation process. They have an appreciation for the food systems and understanding their participation in the value chain, or if they don't participate in the value chain, what are the implications? So this comes out clearly. And there's also a capacity developed and exposure in terms of carrying out research, presenting it in front of a multidisciplinary group of experts. When they publish, there's motivation. The fourth one is they've been able to establish enterprises from the research products that we've exposed them to. And this is in partnership with other organizations like the CG centers, where they're carrying out research and we expose them to these technologies and research products. And you find that they end up establishing enterprises from the research products. And lastly, there's been an improvement in terms of soft skills. For instance, communication, how do they communicate scientific data and make it usable, mindset change, there's been confidence built, that entrepreneurship, acumen, and the more solution-driven, in terms of the conversation that goes on in the dialogues. And we've really seen this being a success. We look forward to hosting the next forum this year in August. One of our participants, John Abula, is joining today, and we're really proud to have him as part of our team in the mentorship program. So thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you, Ella. Thank you, Ella Tanaka. I don't know if Steve Nyange or Munene have some questions.
So we unmute Steve Nguyen first.
Steve, yeah, go on, go. Steve Nguyen, go on. Over to
my name is Steve Nguyen from Kenya. I have a question. Now, knowing that we have many youth in Africa, and access to market is a big thing. How do we protect most of the youth in this area on access to market, appreciating most of them are maybe in the SME bracket versus bigger competition from other bigger major producers? How do we protect the youth, especially who are just starting it off from various ways, from 4H getting into the bigger space or other entities? So thanks.
Okay, thank you. And now I'll give the floor to Mumbi Munene. Over to you for your question, please.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for giving me the floor. I think my question just relates back to the video we just saw around the 4K clubs that have been reignited in Kenya. So they used to be there earlier, but we saw that they kind of were not followed up, so they had to be reignited. So I think it's just thinking about things like 4H and 4K, and how can we better design these programs for youth when you're thinking about whether that's youth who are young in primary or even as they get older. And then as well, how can this 4K and other youth clubs better prepare youth for the labor market and for when they're out of school to be better engaged in agricultural system, so that it doesn't become something that you kind of just learn in school and then you forget when you leave the system. And thank you to the panel.
Thank you. I don't know now if our panelists have something to add. Back to them. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Can I go, Ambassador?
Yeah. Go on.
All right, thank you. So to respond to the question on protecting youth in access to markets from the bigger players, this has been a challenge, and it's not just youth actually, it's like all small and medium enterprises, which comprises a diversity of people from all ages, but majority youth fall under that bracket. And we have also noted that there are very good initiatives being rolled out in specific countries in the continent, like the Startup Act. I think it's already rolled out in Senegal, and currently Ghana, Rwanda, they're developing it to build that startup ecosystem so that it can help propel the youth into the market in a more there's protection of intellectual property and all the other elements that come with trade barriers and all that. So, but aside from that, at FARA level, we are also establishing agribusiness learning alliances, and these alliances that help us to learn and see what works, what does not work, what has worked in the past, what can be done in future, so that we also, because we advocate for good practices, then we can support in capacity if it's capacity required, or if it's that formation of alliances that can also participate in the market, then that's where we come in. But if you could join also the forum for the YPAD forum during the discussions, we are happy to take suggestions and build up together on the best practices that can help youth participate in the market. Thank you.
Thank you a lot. Yanke, over to you. Mamadou Yanke, you have the floor.
Marcus?
Yeah, Yanke. Yanke, you are asking for the floor by your hand. Use the function, please. Now over to Tete, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ambassador. And I want to respond to, what we can do to still empower the youth. The youth, I will say, always are the future for the development of every nation. But unfortunately for our part of the world, they have been neglected, and then agriculture has also been neglected for them to see it as business. And until we let them tune their minds, or we teach them policies and then give them hands-on approaches to see agriculture as business, they are never going to value it. So with our 4-H clubs, what we do is that we take them into the planting protocols, the right planting protocols, and then they keep records on whatever they do for them to see it also as business. So you are just not doing the gardens, you are not just doing the farms, but then you are practicing the right things, following the planting protocols for you to get the right yield that you are supposed to get. And then with this, when they grow up, we see them being conduits of the transfer of these knowledges that they've gotten to their communities and then their institutions. So for them to see it as business is one approach that I think 4-H clubs are doing to help the youth to appreciate agriculture and then the food systems. And on how young should we catch them to do these things, as I've already said, there is a saying that catch them young. So as soon as I believe you are able to reason, you are able to eat, you are able to do certain things, we need to be feeding you with kind of policies or these right approaches to doing things, and then you appreciate it when you grow. Remembering when I was very young, my dad used to take us to the farm. By then we saw it as punishment. But then growing up, I've come to a realization that he was actually preparing us for something bigger in the future. And I think that approach is also helping. So that's my take for now. And then I will be on standby for any other questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Alet. We have Ellen Yuango. Ellen.
Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry, I cannot turn on my video. My connection is a bit shaky,
Okay,
but
that's
I have an observation or rather a comment, and this one goes to maybe Tete. I hope I got your name right. Sorry.
Yes, yes.
I am a young farmer. I tried farming, and I did it for maybe 3-4 years. After 3-4 years, I kind of saw that it wasn't making money for me, so I had to move on into something else, just still in the same agricultural value addition in the chain, but I had to scale it up to move it maybe to aggregation or value addition, anything else. So I've been through everything that everyone is saying that you have to go through the training, you have to do X, Y, and Z. But now what made me move was just something as simple as, you are saying agriculture, we need to see agriculture as a business. And what is the basic definition of a business? From my own understanding, I believe that a business is something that is making money for you. So as youth, we are not seeing that agriculture is making money for us. I can plant, I can do everything, but at the end of the day, if I'm not making money at the tail end of the whole process, then I can't stay in this thing. So as for me, I think my suggestion is pretty much simple, that we need to make agriculture make money. Because why is someone being a doctor? Because someone knows that a doctor has money. Why is someone being an engineer? An engineer has money. So I'm not getting into agriculture because at the end of the day, it is like a poor man's kind of thing. Yes, everyone is feeding and using our things, but why are we not as farmers feeling the benefit? So if this youth could actually see that this thing is making money, then I don't think we'll have to sit here and say, what do we need to do? Because it's making money, everyone wants to get in it. But because it is not actually a business as you want us to see it, that is why we are kind of taking a back seat and saying, okay, I can be a farmer, but if I'm not making money, then why am I being a farmer? So I think the issue here that should be addressed is, how can you make this thing make money for us? And then we are in, we just need the money. It needs to make sense. I need to be empowered. I can't stay in something that is not making sense for me. So anyone can just say whatever they think, but those are my 2 cents.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank
thank you very much.
Go on, Tete.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think nobody goes into business to run at a loss. And exactly what you are saying, there are a lot of young people into agriculture that are not making profits. And on my part, working with some few farmers from my environment or my catchment areas, this is what I've seen. Most of our farmers go into farming and wait till maturity before they start searching for markets for what they are producing.
Thank you, Tete. Thank you, because time is running up. Now I'll give the opportunity to Yanke to, if you have something to. Yanke, over to you, please. Yeah.
Marcus, if you could just unmute.
Okay. Thank you all so much. There was some question raised that I found interest to actually address about protecting, young people who are coming out in agriculture. I think one of the way that we go about doing that is actually having full-age National Agricultural Fair, where students that practicing that that are leading in agriculture showcase their talents and what they are doing in their various communities at a national level. And with this, we want to capture the interest of government and other international institutions to actually support the program and try make it more sustainable, find market leakages where products are full-age students are are producing from their home entrepreneurship project can be market on a larger scales. But for now, I think we train the young people about entrepreneurship skills development, how to making business decision, and the 4 P's in business or in marketing. So those students, they have those business skills at their level in the communities, how they can know what production they go into, and how can it be profitable to them in their neighborhood. And as we look for bigger platform, as we are looking for bigger platforms where they will have more support and they will be able to actually market their produce, and people will come in to make this program very sustainable in Liberia. Because Liberia, one of the things we see in our country here is youth in agriculture. People have had negative mindset about agriculture before. People feel that agriculture is hard labor. Even in schools where we teach, people who teach agriculture in schools, they see agriculture as punishment side where they send students to go and work. But with our intervention, with 157 schools that we are operating in, we said, look, we make agriculture more fun, and we teach the value of money to the students and how they can market themselves up. And people, are actually trying to do that, and we are, getting huge success in our land.
Thank you, Yaka. Now we move to Monoko. Please, it is time if you have something to thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador. Yes, actually, I really like the comment by Madam Onyango, and I agree with you. Unless it's profitable, then we won't have a lot of youth being interested. And yes, it's fun, but also one advantage that youth have is we're very dynamic, we are creative, we've embraced arts, and that's what we should be applying even in agriculture and at all nodes of the value chain. We have technologies and research products that are out there to help us improve on our productivity. And if it's post-harvest, it's to help with the post-harvest management. If it's at processing in terms of value addition, distribution. Nowadays, we have digital marketing platforms. There's a lot of we have access to so much resources that we can use in terms of making money out of agriculture. And even when it comes to marketing, how do we apply our creativity in the marketing? So we don't just have to focus on the primary production, but there's the whole value chain to look at. And yes, we can make agriculture profitable, but we have to be creative and we have to apply our skill sets, both soft skills and the technical hard skills into the agriculture. And I think I want to be hopeful that yes, it will make money for youth if they go into agriculture. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry for the interruption. I see many raise hands, but the time is running up. Now we are coming to the end. It has been a great pleasure to me to moderate this session and to see discover wonderful initiatives that are promoting youth engagement in food systems. Many thanks for the rich discussions. And now I give this to Mr. Victor Mago, Partnerships Coordinator for World Food Forum, who will offer a presentation on the work of FAO World Food Forum. Victor Mago, over to you, please.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. It's really great to be here and to meet each and every one of you. I see a great round of actionable solutions. I see a great round of ideas that are coming out on how we can be able to continue to engage young people. And I think that's quite excellent. I think this is the kind of forums that we require so that we can be able to promote youth engagement within the agricultural sector, but also to try to provide them with an opportunity for them to express themselves and also to deliberate and also to have concrete actions on the ground. So thank you so much for this. My name is Victor Mugo. I am representing the World Food Forum, and I support them as the head of global partnerships. And I'm here just to talk about the World Food Forum. And if I could be able to share my screen just in a sec, I can be able to do that. So I don't know if you can see my screen.
We can. You just took it. We had
see you, but no. Time is
okay.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll continue to speak as I continue to work through just to make sure that my screen can be seen. Is that once the DG for the Director General for the FAO came into place, one of the greatest challenges that he noticed within the Rome-based agencies was the lack of, or the increased need for youth engagement and participatory youth engagement. And in that regard, he created the FAO Youth Committee. And in this regard, then he also thought about how the FAO Youth Committee, together with other young people, came together to think about how they can be able to create a truly youth-led global movement, a global platform that will bring them together to be able to discuss about issues on youth, on issues on promoting youth engagement, especially in food systems. And so that's when they came up with the World Food Forum. And so I'm here to just describe a little bit about the World Food Forum. So the World Food Forum really is independent global network of partners that creates a platform for youth engagement where young people from across the globe can come together to discuss, to deliberate, to engage with each other and to come up with actionable solutions. I think one of the challenges that we've seen is that there are very many platforms for discussion, but very few where actionable solutions really can be able to be taken forward and be able even to be submitted to the relevant authorities that can be able to even support this going forward. So the World Food Forum was created as an independent youth-led global network of partners, and it was created so that young people can have the voice and can also have the leadership in the agri-food sector. I know all of us are representing youth or are youth themselves engaged within the food system sector. And I think food is one of the single greatest lever that can be able to help to transform young people, be able to optimize their health, be able to support environmental sustainability. And so we can be able to come up with new, actionable, innovative, and inclusive solutions within the food system sector. And so within that, the World Food Forum is now divided into a few tracks. And one of it is the Youth Action Track that really looks about at youth action in terms of policy. What are some of the policies that are impeding youth engagement in this sector? What are some transformative policies that can be able to transform young people to identify actionable solutions locally, but also globally? And so the Youth Action Track is really a policy arm of the World Food Forum. One thing I've had quite time and time again is the aspect of innovation and really trying to inspire innovation for sustainable development. And so the World Food Forum also has an innovation track where young people can come with their innovative ideas. They can be able to get the requisite support structures that they want, and then they can be able to take these innovations events and be able to scale them. Education is really important, and we know especially once we start from a very young age, we can have a graduated approach for which young people can become engaged within the sector. So one of the other tracks is on the education that really looks at driving systemic change, especially from a young age. And so in this regard, we support the Junior World Food Day, where young people can also come and also start interacting with agriculture from a very young age. And lastly, we have a cultural track where we know that, for example, music is the universal language. Film is something young people want to engage in. Culinary activities, cooking activities, photography are some of the activities that young people can be able to engage in, even to create more awareness about the engagement within food systems. And so there's also a culture track that brings them all together. And finally, we all bring all this together within the World Food Forum flagship event that occurs every October. So this year we'll have flagship event from the 3rd to the 6th of October, where young people will come together. And in this year, we are more ambitious. We want to increase the number of young people who are involved, and also to give young people a platform for them to express themselves. And so we look forward to engaging with you throughout the year, but also during the flagship event. And so I hope you can all join us as we create a truly youth-led global movement of young people who are transforming food systems, and that we can be able to transform food systems together. Thank you so much. And that was my presentation. Back to you, Your Excellency.
Thank you. And now I'm pleased to bring you under the theme of improved livelihoods in Africa. an excellent panel of case studies. It's my pleasure to introduce these initiatives. Will be the first case will come from Generation Africa on Youth, ecosystem development framework in Rwanda. Let's now turn our focus on the case study.
AGRA in Rwanda has decided to zero down on youth. In the coming days, we'll be designing with you programs that are going to attract many young people to see agriculture as a viable employment opportunity.
You are the future. As the African continent, we have quite some challenges, but also opportunities. Towards 2030, the ambition was to make sure that this continent was more or less food secure.
At Generation Africa, we care about the youth and the youth in agriculture. We look at the ecosystem that surrounds the youth and try to strengthen it so that the youth can have a good and smooth journey.
Good Generation Africa, we thank you for the work you are doing to develop talent and leadership for youth. Second case study is coming from EcoClean Cycle on farm towers. Farm to table, food to garden. Let's us now turn our focus on the case. Would you please?
I'm Dudu Ndimande, an environmental advocate based in Johannesburg. I am very passionate about the youth development in Africa. I am currently part of the Africa project team at EcoClean Cycle and the Global Landscape Forum. What is EcoClean? EcoClean Cycle, it is for profit with social mission organization that helps businesses take targeted action plan on climate change and involve locals in the management of the environment. We provide our business with the network, resources and tools needed to work within their business on sustainable effort, political advocacy, and building a community of shared values. Our initiatives: EcoClean Cycle Farmers Tour, Food to Table case study, which ran from 2020 to date, worked to build young people's interest in agricultural enterprises. These help generate income, create resilience, and empower young people to become business leaders in their communities. A new phase of project, Growing Futures, is now underway. EcoClean Cycle partnered with 17 youth groups in Western area with a total of 217 members, of which 57% of them are women. Results to date: 8 groups are working under contract farming agreements. City Harvest engaged the groups as outgrowers for the supply chains. About 59 lead farmers have also started their own individual enterprises on their own farms and with City Harvest and partners' initial technical support. Approximately $3,000 in grant has been obtained by the youth groups from the Solidarity Fund. The grant are being used to invest the technology such as greenhouse and to support the agricultural enterprise, including poultry, sheep and vegetable farming and small businesses. How is EcoClean Cycle advancing the future of young people? EcoClean Cycle and partners created, strengthened and supported youth groups to establish and manage agricultural businesses. The project provided training and technical assistance in agriculture and agronomy, helped groups to market their products and encourage young farmers to become active in local politics and governance.
Thank you. Thank you. Incredible work in transforming food systems. EcoClean Clean Cycle. Thank you very much. Our third case study is coming from Global Pulse Confederation Young Professional Youth Engagement in Pulse. Let us now turn our focus on the case study.
Hello and Assalamu alaikum. This is Faisal Anis Majid from Bombay's Group, currently representing GPC Young Professionals at GPC Executive Board. Basically, GPC Young Professional is a group created under the umbrella of GPC with an objective to develop young professionals into better leaders for tomorrow. It was a dream of Mr. late Hakan Bahichi and Mr. Hussein Arslan, along with other GPC leadership, to nourish new talent coming into the business and becoming part of business and be involved in developing awareness and innovation in the pulses industry. It was created back in 2012 with only 10 founding members. Later, this group prospered, and now we are about 110 members representing 20 plus countries. A system was created and bylaws were created in 2015, and we formulated a 5 coordinators team which were leading this whole project. These coordinators have the responsibility to invite new members, developing interesting projects for young professionals, meet and greet at every event, online sessions, internship programs, celebrate and aware on the International Day of Pulses and other activities. Our purpose is to engage young minds entering into the business, to give them a platform to make new friends, share knowledge with their own age bracket people, learn, explore, experience, innovate and succeed in their business, as well as promote pulses trade and consumption. Our coordinators go through several meetings to understand procedure of official executive committee meetings. They attend executive committee meetings as observers, organize events, make budgets, implement plans, and after all the dedication and hard work, they get nominated for becoming an executive committee member. After going through all this process, they are well aware of the issues and limitations, and with the young minds, they can suggest better solutions and innovative ideas to be introduced in the pulses industry. Few of our success stories during the last 10 years who have become executive committee members from being GPCYP members. Some of them were founding members and coordinators. To name a few, it was Iman Rida, Atiq Ansari, Andaj Kolukisa, Matia Pedon, Tala Mubayan, and myself currently serving as the executive committee member of GPC YP. GPC Young Professionals has the responsibility to promote agriculture, especially pulses. After hard work of leadership of GPC, the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, announced 2016 as the International Year of Pulses. In December 2018, the United Nations General Assembly designated February 10th as the World Pulses Day. The first ever World Pulses Day was held and celebrated on 10th of February 2019. The important day, Food Day, is linked to the United Nations 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Our World Pulses Day is celebrated by seeking to promote the health benefits of pulses. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, GPC, for your professionalism. Thank you for your inspiration work. Thank you. Our third case study will come from Hopeland, Congo, on agro towers and Malabo rice. Let us now turn our focus on the case study.
Allô, bonjour à tous. Bonjour, je m'appelle André Moliro, coordonnateur de Hopeland Congo. Hopeland Congo, c'est une organisation qui intervient dans le domaine de l'agriculture et environnement. Nous organisons des formations sur l'agroécologie et entrepreneuriat agricole. Et dans le domaine de l'environnement, nous organisons des activités de sensibilisation sur l'éducation environnementale. Alors, à travers nos activités sur l'agroécologie et entrepreneuriat agricole, nous encadrons et formons des jeunes dans l'agro-business à travers des formations très pratiques et d'apprentissage sur le terrain. Et depuis près de 5 ans, nous avons formé des jeunes, près de 50 jeunes à travers la RDC qui ont réussi à mettre en place leurs entreprises dans le secteur agricole. Alors, parmi les programmes mis en place, il y a le programme Agotou, qui est un programme aussi qui cadre à former les jeunes à travers des visites guidées dans le secteur agricole. Nous sommes déjà à notre 5e édition qui aura lieu au mois de juillet. Et cette activité de formation est organisée avec des moments forts, des partages d'expériences, des masterclass où les jeunes s'inspirent eux-mêmes à travers leur expérience à pouvoir innover encore dans le secteur agricole. Au-delà de ce programme Agotou, nous avons aussi le programme Malibu Rice, qui est un programme qui vise à promouvoir le riz qui est produit localement. Ici, nous formons des jeunes à pouvoir mettre en place des entreprises dans le secteur agricole, mais beaucoup plus dans la riziculture. Et ça fait 2 ans que ce programme a été mis en place. Les jeunes ont été formés et continuent toujours à être formés. Nous pensons que ça va encore ça va produire des résultats très positifs pour l'entrepreneuriat vert ou bien appelé l'entrepreneuriat agricole. Mais au-delà de cela, il y a aussi d'autres programmes comme le programme sur apprenons les élèves l'agriculture dans nos écoles. Et ce programme a été spécialement mis en place pour les jeunes à travers l'Est du pays. Et là, je parle de Goma, Bukavu, cette partie qui est fortement touchée par des problèmes dits aux guerres, ces guerres qui créent beaucoup plus d'instabilité, des jeunes qui n'ont pas d'emploi. Mais nous avons pensé que former ces jeunes à travers, à partir déjà de l'école primaire ou secondaire, leur former, leur préparer à l'entrepreneuriat agricole, parce que l'entrepreneuriat agricole a produit des richesses et aussi des emplois durables. Pour nous, c'est très, très capital et nous continuons à mener ensemble avec d'autres organisations ce combat.
Thank you, Ola. Thank you, Agrotu. Hopland, thank you for your fantastic program, Climate. Climate isn't a central issue of the future of our planet. And thank you for your being the best advocates of this issue. Thank you. Our fifth case will come from Lambersisol, Morocco, Moroccan sustainable environmentally and friendly technology. Let us now turn focus on the case study.
Kharbouch et je suis docteur en biotechnologie environnementale. Je suis là pour vous présenter notre start-up Lambrisol qui propose une solution économique, écologique et durable pour le recyclage des déchets organiques. C'est le procédé de vermicompostage. En fait, ce procédé est basé sur l'utilisation des vers de terre pour la transformation des déchets organiques en biofertilisants. À travers notre solution, on essaye de répondre à 2 problèmes majeurs, à savoir le problème des grandes quantités de déchets organiques qui sont produits. Par exemple, dans la région de Souss-Massa, on produit 400 000 tonnes de déchets verts par an. Et ces déchets organiques causent énormément de problèmes environnementaux, à savoir la pollution des nappes phréatiques, dégagement des mauvaises odeurs et la contamination du sol. Deuxième grand problème, à savoir, c'est l'appauvrissement des sols agricoles qui est causé par leur surexploitation. Pour répondre à ces 2 grands défis, en fait, on a monté un bioréacteur qui est un brevet d'invention. Ce bioréacteur va nous permettre d'automatisation des procédés de vermicompostage à 100%, car c'est un bioréacteur qui émane des sondes de contrôle de taux d'humidité et de température. Et aussi, c'est un bioréacteur qui permet en fait l'automatisation parce qu'elle est composée d'une trémie d'alimentation qui sert l'alimentation des vers de terre qui sont contenus à l'intérieur du bioréacteur. Et ça fait des allers-retours à travers le bioréacteur pour permettre à chaque fois d'alimenter couche par couche. Une fois la première couche est dégradée, en fait, il y a un gratteur, comme vous voyez, qui va gratter et faire passer la partie qui est dégradée à travers une grille. Le vermicompost qui est produit tombe directement sur un tapis rouleau et le tapis rouleau va le faire sortir d'un côté.
Merci infiniment. Thank you, Lombrisoul Morocco, for a fantastic program. Climate is the central issue of the future of our planet. And I thank you for our youth for being the best advocates on this issue. Okay, now I would like to invite our distinguished panel to join our conversation from each of the organizations in case. They are available to answer your question and your interviews. We would like to hear about what you think is needed to build on these examples and further engagement panel. Yeah. I'm now pleased to invite our excellent panel to join this discussion. Are ready? Our panel consists of Mr. Henry Lagat, EDF Lead Generation Africa, AGRA, Mr. Leonard Moliki, founder of COO, Eco Clean Cycle, Mr. Andre Moliro, Hopeland Congo, Mr. Faisal Anis Majid, GPCYP, representative of the Executive Committee of GPC, and he's the founder of Lombrisoul, and we ask for you to raise, please, audience, you ask for you to raise your hand and also feel free to put a question in the chat function, and we will try to include as many as possible to include your question. Thank you. I see that we have a question from Okay, go on.
Yes, Madame, Your Excellency. First of all, thank you and welcome Dixon Naftali from Generation Africa. We appreciate you stepping in for Henry, and you couldn't be more ably filling in that role.
Ok, merci.
Thank you.
Ok, thank you. Merci, je soutiens et vraiment félicite toutes les différentes interventions. Et comme vous l'avez entendu dans notre présentation, et nous, dans Upland Congo, nous préconisons une politique basée sur la formation et l'encadrement et en même temps aussi l'accompagnement technique et financier afin de doter d'abord, premièrement, la jeunesse d'une conception, d'une connaissance conceptuelle et méthodologique pour permettre à cette dernière de comprendre d'abord qu'est-ce qu'est l'agriculture et comment faire de cette agriculture un moyen de vivre. En même temps aussi une opportunité d'affaires et un secteur créateur d'emplois durables et en même temps aussi une source de revenus pour garantir son autonomie financière ainsi que son développement personnel et communautaire. Alors, je pense qu'il y a aussi lieu de pouvoir redorer l'image de l'agriculture par la promotion de son aspect, surtout rentabilité. J'ai aimé Madame qui a parlé de la rentabilité parmi les difficultés. Et ça, c'est un élément très important. Il faut vraiment redorer l'image de l'agriculture par la promotion de l'aspect rentabilité sur les plans commerciaux, c'est-à-dire l'agro-business pour inciter les jeunes à s'intéresser de l'agriculture, mais aussi à investir pour lutter contre le chômage et la pauvreté dans l'optique de promouvoir le développement durable. Alors, il y a aussi un élément très important, c'est dans ce cadre que nous avons mis en place ces différents programmes. Le premier programme dont je vous ai parlé, c'est beaucoup plus l'AgroTour, qui est un programme à caractère qui vise à doter la jeunesse un cadre d'échange et de partage d'expériences avec un caractère beaucoup plus ludique, agro-touristique, pour pouvoir encore innover dans ces secteurs par les partages d'expériences et aussi des moments comme des Inspire Me. Donc voilà vraiment ce que nous soutenons en mettant en place ce programme panafricain sur l'agrobusiness qui est d'ailleurs déjà actuellement à sa 5e édition. Nous serons au mois de juillet, du 11 au 16 juillet, pour pouvoir encore expérimenter cela avec les jeunes dans la région des Grands Lacs. Donc, nous avons déjà organisé plusieurs éditions, 3 éditions en RDC, 1 édition au Rwanda, et nous pensons que cette édition qui sera organisée bientôt au mois de juillet à Nairobi, donc sera encore un moment fort de pouvoir nous inspirer entre nous jeunes et innover dans les secteurs agricoles. Donc voilà vraiment ce que nous sommes en train de faire et nous soutenons en menant ce combat avec les autres amis. Et nous pensons que ce genre de cadre d'échange peut encore nous permettre davantage de trouver plus d'opportunités à pouvoir lutter pour accorder plus des emplois durables, comme je l'ai dit, dans le secteur agricole, dans notre région des Grands Lacs. J'ai dit et je vous remercie.
Thank you. I don't know now if Leonard Moliki is ready.
So I was saying Leonard is a Johannesburg-based environmental advocate, multidisciplinary artist, and founder of EcoClean Cycle, helping local communities in management of water and land. I am a second-year student pursuing a Bachelor of Agricultural Business Management at the University of South Africa. So I love the idea of farm to table and farmers market. I enjoy a meal more if I know I am eating something that's good quality and good for the community. Just before Ukraine war and KZN flood, we launched farmer stores around South Africa to support the youth-led agribusiness with the inputs such as seeds, training, offtake agreements, and organic compost. So basically on farmer store, it consists with extensive officers, regional agricultural funders, and agricultural graduates to provide real-time advice to youth-led agribusinesses. So as an organization, we believe that public-private partnership are a strong pillar and a good support system for youth-led agricultural startups to leverage, for example, a higher yielding economic opportunity in agri-food system sector. As my colleague says on the case study, that to date we have partnered with 17 youth groups with a total of 217 members, 57 of which are women, and we currently have 8 contracts with farmers, of which City Harvest engaged with the groups as outgrowers for the supply chain. So how we come up with this innovative way? So we believe that youth hold the potential power to transform the future of African farming and make it more attractive to young people and more profitable, less burdensome, and more close tied to market and consumers. Thank you.
Thank you, Leonard Moliki. I don't see Barham Kharbush. Okay, now let's have Naftali. Naftali.
Thanks, Your Excellency. Yeah, so I hope you can hear me well. Going to be talking about Generation Africa. So this is a platform, an initiative by AGRA and the AGRF. Many of you know the AGRF summit that happens once in a year every September, that tries to create an agenda for youth employment in Africa. So we do this by catalyzing action at the ground level and at the country level to ensure that all governments and private sectors and development actors work together to create an enabling ecosystem for the youth who are in business be able to operate and thrive. And so good to see you, Karbuch here, and also Millicent, who just spoke earlier. They're part of the Generation Africa alumni. They've participated in some of our events. So we try to curb the deficit of jobs. The thousands of youth that are coming into employment are not finding a job to do. And yet we think that agriculture has a lot of potential to bring these jobs to them. And an example is just what the other speakers have talked about earlier. Daniel from Uganda, fish farming, complained about markets. There was no markets for the fish farmers. There was no access to finance, and raw materials were expensive. Then Goretti, who's doing dairy work in Kenya, also talked about input providers, inputs being very expensive as well, and no input providers to give favorable inputs, and also the government policies and the business environment not protecting. And so Millicent also, I think, was talking about the access to land. So then you realize that for a young person to thrive in business, that environment where they exist, that surrounds them and the actors need to all pull their weight and work together to be able to make this business conducive and to make it make sense financially like any other business. And so this is why we thought about all this after doing a lot of research as Generation Africa and diagnostics, and decided to take a step back. And we came up with a model we call the Youth Ecosystem Development Framework. So it's a framework basically that tries to create an enabling environment and a well-coordinated environment of actors in agriculture that can help these young people prosper in what they do. And so here we are talking about...
Now time is running out.
Okay, fine. Let me try and summarize.
Yeah. Try to summarize because we are coming to the end of the session. We have to end by midday.
Okay, good. So we've been able to do this in Senegal and in Rwanda. And basically it's to bring all education and research institutions together. For example, business development service providers, we brought financial institutions together. We've brought an alumni of youth networks together to bring their voice on the table. We have off-takers of produce, and of course the government sitting in the center of this. And so every actor knows who is doing what where, and where they can add value. And so we tried to support flagship programs and investment plans for the governments and also other development actors to speak in one voice and support the youth. Thank you, and over back to you, Excellency.
Thank you very much. Now I maybe have another question before giving the floor to Barham and Anis. So the question is why do we get access to finance for young people start their career in the food system? And what is the biggest systemic inequity to getting youth into agriculture and food? And now go to you, Anis Majid, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Your Excellency, and thank you very much for putting up this PSM 2022 Youth Forum. Robayan, Sophia, and the team has done a great job. My name is Faisal Anis Majid, and I represent global young professionals in the GPC, Global Pulses Federation. And the purpose is to promote pulses consumption and awareness. So after a lot of hard work of the presidents and a lot of the team, they have got it approved as the International Year of Pulses, and we celebrate it every year. So in the long run, it is a very long-term project in which few of the projects we take is that we put awareness in schools. We go there, we give awareness on how pulses are produced, how they are consumed, and what are the benefits they are going to get over the period of time. So in this manner, the kids will be educated. Once they are educated and they start getting the habit of eating pulses and getting know more about the pulses, they'll be more and the food security issues we are facing and what we project in the future. So they'll be able to focus more on the research and development side we are hoping. Plus, we are also working with the governments to push origins to grow more, to go into the seed development and give better products, high yielding products on the same acreage of land, so that more produce can be done, and then we can feed the world accordingly. Because the weather conditions are changing around the globe. The food security is obviously an issue for every country, and the demand with the population has been increasing. And unfortunately, the inflation in the recent years during the COVID period and right now, it's crazy. So we have to find a balance where we can supply enough food for the people and grow enough so that everybody can be fed.
Thank you. If there are any questions, because we have only 5 minutes.
Yes, Ambassador, if we might just ask the panel, and in fact, everyone in the room, to put into chat, can you name one policy that you think would advance youth engagement in the food system? Maybe we can ask Dixon.
The question, yeah, the question that we have already done, yeah.
Excellent. So just one summary note. Dixon, what's your idea for a single youth policy that could make a difference?
I have like two, but the big one for me, I think, is the one for land access. We need to come up with land access accelerators who are allowed by policy to create land markets for idle communal land, so that leasing is allowed to have people who don't necessarily own land have access to land, and this is supported by the national policy. Thanks.
Thank you. I think now we can conclude this session, maybe. If there is no question, nothing to add. Okay, it has been a great pleasure to moderate this session and to see wonderful initiatives that are promoting youth engagement in food system. So many thanks for this discussion. We are coming to the closing of our session. And I think the question had been with a concrete policy recommendation. We have the final question that I don't know, you have to repeat from the first round and second round. What is one policy you have already, we could create that would help young people start farming a job? We have a good answers for that. So thank you a lot. Finally, I want, ladies and gentlemen, it was amazing, a great discussion that we have had. And now for youth, I would like to invite our youth to be aware and to take into account and to move to sustainable agri-food systems that take into account climate change, environment, and that take into account innovation and science. Thank you very much. I don't now I give the floor to Nelly Herman Valente to bring closing remarks. Nelly, over to you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. I hope you can all hear me well. Yeah. Thank you to all the participants of this highly informative and important dialogue. My name is Nelly Herman Valente, and I lead the Bayer Crop Sciences Next Generation of Agricultural Leaders efforts. On behalf of the entire private sector mechanism, we encourage you all to engage in the CFS, whether member state, civil society, research, or private sector. And of course, indeed, if you're young, please get involved. We need all actors working together to advance global food security, and the effective voices of those who are young now are crucial for defining future-proof strategies for sustainable agriculture. We hope you will consider the private sector a partner. At Bayer, we have long promoted youth engagement, Since 2013, we've provided global young advocates with opportunities to learn, network, and engage for concrete impact at our own Youth Ag Summit. Last year, we took the next step and initiated the new Next Gen Ag Impact Network, short ENGINE, together in a coalition of 17 founding partners. And today, I'm happy to be speaking to you as chair of the ENGINE board. ENGINE lives up to UN Sustainable Development Goal 17, Partnerships for the Goals, and creates a new global forum with young people that sets out to increase the attractiveness of agriculture for future generations in all sustainability pillars: economic, ecological, and social. The coalition partners, one of whom is actually Generation Africa, co-create with one vote each to bring opportunities to young people that match their needs. And we do so across all sectors, including youth movements and associations, NGOs, think tanks, farmers' organizations, the academic sector, international organizations, and the private sector. To give you one example, when youth across the globe raised interest in learning more on how to raise their voices effectively at UN fora, we offered open access training sessions this April to facilitate for their upskilling. And that was just the beginning. Please have a look at the website to find out more and sign up in the Stay Tuned section so we can listen to you, include you, and channel opportunities your way. There's so much good happening already, and yet I feel we need to strengthen partnerships for impact on the ground. We must continue sharing our experiences and learning from each other to accelerate actions for youth and give young people a voice directly into decision-making. Because it is you who are young today who will be the leaders of the future, and it is you who will be most affected by the decisions taken today. So please ensure to make yourself heard. Let's coordinate our work, bringing each of our efforts to young people around the world. Youth need a full suite of fair access, from land to water to nutrition, technology, and to power. And we've heard that today in this conversation. Now, with this said, thank you to all the people who made this event possible. You are indeed giving young people the space they critically need and deserve. First of all, thank you to Ambassador Salem for leading us so expertly through this session. We appreciate Chairman Ferrero, CFS Secretary Hagedorn, and the Ambassador of Switzerland for the guidance of CFS on this important topic of youth in agriculture. We were also gifted so many excellent leaders on the topic of youth empowerment. So many thanks to all our panelists, as well as our attentive audience. Our case studies and the conversation were inspiring. Please join us for the Global Roundtable held virtually on May 26 at 3 p.m. East Africa time, where we will be focusing on the outcomes from all the regional dialogues and the path forward to advance youth in our food system. It was a pleasure to have you all join us today, and best of luck with all your work and initiatives on the ground. Thank you so much.